Daniel wasn't looking for anything when he found it. He was grabbing his charger from Vanessa's car. Hers was dead, his was in the shop, and his hand hit something taped under the passenger seat. A second phone. Not hers, not his. A burner. He unlocked it in 30 seconds. Her birthday, same as everything else she never changed. The messages loaded. R. Counting down the days, just you and me this time, no interruptions. Vanessa. I told him I have a girls' trip. He believed it, LOL. R. God, I can't wait to have you to myself. Soon this won't have to be a secret. Daniel sat in the driver's seat for a long moment, phone in his lap, engine off, house lights glowing through the windshield. He didn't feel rage yet. That would come later. Right now, he felt something colder. Clarity. He put the phone back exactly where he found it, taped at the same angle, and walked inside like nothing happened. Vanessa was in the kitchen when he came in, scrolling her real phone, barely looking up. "Hey," she said, "you get the charger?" "Yeah." Daniel opened the fridge, bought himself a second. "Hey, so, work's sending me to Dallas next weekend. Conference thing. I'll be gone Friday to Sunday." Vanessa's head came up fast. "Oh." A pause, then a smile she tried to make casual. "That's fine. That's totally fine." Too fast, too relieved. "You sure?" Daniel asked, watching her face carefully now, cataloging every flicker. "I know we had that dinner planned with your sister." "We can move it," she said quickly. "Seriously, go. You need a break." She turned back to her phone, but Daniel caught the small smile before she hid it. She's already planning her weekend, too, he thought, just not with me. His phone buzzed an hour later. Monica. "Hey, you eating dinner, or is Vanessa still doing that no-carbs thing?" "Mon, I need to ask you something." Something in his voice made her stop mid-sentence. "What's wrong?" A pause on the other end, longer than Daniel expected. "You're asking because you already know something," Monica said, "not because you're wondering." Daniel didn't answer. "Daniel, I've been wanting to say this for like 3 weeks, and I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. She's been weird. New workout clothes she never mentioned buying. She got her hair done twice this month. She's on her phone in the bathroom with the door locked now. I thought maybe I was reading into it." "You weren't." Silence. "What did you find?" Monica asked quietly. A phone, hidden in her car. Messages from someone signing off as R. "Oh my God, Daniel." "Don't say anything to her. Don't say anything to anyone. I need you to trust me on this." "What are you going to do?" Daniel looked through the kitchen doorway. Vanessa was humming to herself now, pouring a glass of wine, completely at ease. A woman with a secret, and no idea her secret had already been found. "Nothing," he said. "Yet." Friday came fast. Daniel packed an overnight bag, kissed Vanessa goodbye at the door, and told her he'd call when he landed in Dallas. He didn't fly to Dallas. He drove 4 blocks, parked outside a coffee shop with a clear view of their street, and waited. At 6:40 p.m., Vanessa left the house, dressed up, not girls' trip dressed, date night dressed. Red dress, hair down, the perfume she only wore for occasions. A black BMW pulled up outside their house 11 minutes later. Daniel's stomach tightened as he watched his wife jog down the driveway and slide into the passenger seat like she'd done it 100 times before. He got a clean shot of the license plate before the car pulled away. He didn't follow immediately. He didn't need to. He already knew exactly what he was going to do next, and for the first time since finding that phone, Daniel Cole allowed himself to smile. "You want to play a game, Vanessa? Fine. I just haven't shown you the rules yet." The BMW led Daniel to the Four Seasons downtown. He parked across the street, camera phone ready, and watched Vanessa step out first, laughing at something the driver said. Then the driver came around, mid-40s, expensive suit, watch that cost more than Daniel's car. Richard Hale. Daniel had heard the name once, months ago, when Vanessa mentioned a client she was designing a house for. A real estate investor. Rich, recently divorced. Twice, Daniel would learn later. He snapped 3 photos as Richard's hand found the small of Vanessa's back, guiding her through the hotel's front doors. That was enough. He didn't need to see more. He already had more than enough to burn his marriage to the ground. He drove home in silence. Monday morning, Daniel sat across from a private investigator named Cole Baxter. No relation, just a coincidence Daniel found darkly funny given the circumstances. "I need everything," Daniel said, sliding the photos across the desk. "Hotel records if you can get them. Financial trail, gifts, transfers, anything he spent on her. Texts if there's a way to pull them. Dates, times, all of it." "Give me 2 weeks," Baxter said. "You'll have a file thick enough to end this clean." Vanessa came home from her girls' trip Sunday night glowing and clingier than she'd been in years. She made his favorite dinner. She asked about his fake conference with genuine-sounding interest. She curled into him on the couch and told him she'd missed him. Daniel almost laughed. Instead, he kissed her forehead and asked how her weekend was. "Good," she said, relaxing. "Sarah and I just talked, mostly." Sarah. Daniel filed the lie away with the rest of the evidence. He felt the confrontation rising in his throat more than once that week, the urge to slam the burner phone on the table and demand she explain herself. But every time, he stopped. A confrontation gives her a chance to spin it. A cornered liar becomes a good liar fast. He wanted something better than a fight. He wanted her to destroy herself with her own hand. 2.5 weeks later, Baxter's file landed on Daniel's desk. It was worse and better than he expected. Hotel receipts, a necklace purchased from Cartier, $8,400, charged to Richard's card, delivered to a P.O. box Vanessa had opened without Daniel's knowledge. Text messages Baxter had pulled from a records request, including one that made Daniel's jaw tighten. "Vanessa, once the timing's right, I'm done with him. I just need to get through the holidays without it looking bad. R. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere, and when it happens, I'll make sure you land on your feet." She wasn't just cheating, she was planning her exit, timing it for maximum sympathy, maximum optics, probably maximum settlement. Daniel drove straight to Nancy Shaw's office. Nancy Shaw didn't blink as she read through the file. She'd seen worse. She'd built a career on worse. "She's not just having an affair," Nancy said finally, closing the folder. "She's running an extraction plan. Wait for the right moment, blindside you with divorce papers, walk away looking like the victim. Standard playbook, honestly. It happens more than people think." "I want her to get nothing," Daniel said. "Not sympathy, not money, not the house, nothing." With this evidence alone, a standard fault-based filing would already hurt her position significantly, Nancy said. "But you said you want more than hurt. You want total." "I want her to destroy her own case. I want it to be undeniable, even to her." Nancy leaned back, studying him for a long moment. A slow, thoughtful smile crossed her face. "There's a way to do that," she said, "but it's aggressive, and it requires patience most of my clients don't have." "I have all the patience in the world," Daniel said. "I've had 3 weeks of practice." "Good, because here's what I'm thinking." She slid a blank legal pad across the desk and started sketching out numbers, timelines, a strategy with a shape Daniel hadn't considered. "You said she's waiting for the right moment to leave you," Nancy said. "So give her one. Give her a moment so good she can't resist grabbing it, and let her prove, on paper, in her own signature, exactly what kind of person she is." Daniel frowned. "What kind of moment?" Priya's smile widened. "The kind of moment that changes everything, or at least the kind she'll believe changes everything." "A lottery ticket," Nancy said. "That's the move." Daniel stared at her. "You want me to fake winning the lottery?" "I want you to give her exactly what she's been chasing this whole time. Money, an easy exit from the boring life she thinks she's stuck in. Except this time, you're the one holding it. Watch what she does when she thinks the jackpot she wants is already in her marriage. She'll know it's fake. There'll be a real winner announced somewhere. Not if you pick a number that hasn't been drawn yet, and you win before the drawing happens. You show her the ticket the night before the numbers are announced. She won't check anything. She'll be too busy celebrating. By the time the actual numbers post the next day, the story's already moved. You tell her it turned out to be a mistake, a mix-up at the store. Tickets long gone by then. Torn up, lost, whatever you need it to be. Daniel sat with that for a moment. It was insane. It was also perfect. What does this actually get me? It gets you her true colors, on the record, time-stamped, and it sets up the second part. Nancy tapped the legal pad. The post-nup. Daniel bought a real ticket from a gas station 2 towns over, using cash, no cameras he recognized. Numbers meant nothing. He wasn't playing to win.
At home, using nothing more than decent photo software and a printer, he built a convincing mock-up, a confirmation screenshot from a fake lottery checker site, and a slightly blurred photo of a winning ticket, $4.2 million, Texas Lotto jackpot. He left it on the kitchen counter Thursday evening, tucked under his laptop like he'd forgotten it there. Time for when Vanessa got home from work and he'd be still stuck on a call in his office. He didn't have to wait long. "Daniel!" Vanessa's voice cracked through the house. "Daniel, get in here right now!" He came out, feigning confusion. She was holding his phone screen up, hands shaking, the fake confirmation glowing on it. "Is this real? Daniel, is this real?" "Is what?" He looked at the screen like he was seeing it for the first time. Oh my God, I bought that Tuesday. I totally forgot to check. $4 million. Vanessa was screaming now, jumping, tears already coming. "Daniel, we're rich. Oh my God. Oh my God." She threw her arms around him so hard, he almost stumbled. He held her, keeping his face buried in her shoulder so she couldn't see it wasn't joy on his face. "It's happening." Exactly like Nancy said, the transformation was immediate and sickening to watch. Vanessa canceled her plans for the weekend. She stopped checking her second phone in the bathroom with the door locked. She sat with Daniel at the kitchen table for hours, planning their future. A bigger house, a lake property, early retirement for both of them. "We should renew our vows," she said Saturday morning, practically glowing. A real ceremony this time, something big. Daniel poured his coffee slowly. "You want to renew our vows. I want everyone to see how happy we are." She squeezed his hand across the table. "I love you so much. I don't know if I've said that enough lately." You haven't said it at all, Daniel thought. Not for months. That same night, Daniel came home from a work thing a little later than expected and found Vanessa in the bedroom, door slightly open, voice hushed on the second phone. He stopped in the hallway out of sight and listened. "Richard, it's over. I mean it this time. No, listen to me. Daniel and I, we're solid now. Something happened. I can't explain it, but everything's different. I know what I said before, I know. But things changed. Please don't make this hard. I need you to just accept it and move on." A pause. Whatever Richard said on the other end, it clearly wasn't the reaction Vanessa was hoping for. Her voice sharpened. "Excuse me, you're acting like I was the only one who—" Another pause, longer, then quieter, wounded. "Wow, okay, wow, I guess I know exactly what this was to you now." She hung up. Daniel heard something hit the wall softly. The phone, probably thrown in frustration. He smiled to himself in the dark hallway. Richard was never in this for the long haul. He just confirmed it for me. Over the next week, Vanessa threw herself fully into their new life. She started window shopping 5-bedroom houses online, sent Daniel links to lake properties, talked about quitting her job to focus on. Then, over dinner Wednesday, she brought up something new, something Daniel had been waiting for. "I was thinking," she said carefully, cutting her chicken without looking up, "with this kind of money, we should probably protect it. Legally, I mean." Daniel kept his face neutral. "Protect it? How?" "Like, I don't know, a lot of people with money end up getting taken advantage of. Fake friends. People coming out of the woodwork. I just want to make sure it's ours. Protected. Yours and mine together. No outside claims on it." She reached across and took his hand, eyes earnest, voice soft. "I want us to sign something. To protect our future. To prove that we're really in this. Together." Daniel looked at her for a long moment. She had no idea she'd just asked, in her own words, for the exact trap Nancy had already built for her. "Yeah," Daniel said slowly. "Yeah, I think that's a good idea." Nancy couldn't hide her satisfaction when Daniel told her. "She asked you for the postnup," Nancy said. "Perfect. That's better than anything I could have scripted. It means when this comes out, there's no argument that you pressured her into anything. It's in her own words, probably in a text somewhere." "It's in a text," Daniel confirmed. "I want us to sign something to protect our future, practically word for word." "Then let's build it right." Nancy drafted the postnuptial agreement over the following week, and it was airtight in a way that read, on the surface, like standard protective language, the kind any newly wealthy couple might reasonably want. Buried in Section 4, subsection C, was the clause that mattered. In the event that either party is found to have engaged in marital misconduct, including but not limited to infidelity, occurring prior to or during the execution of this agreement, said party forfeits any claim to marital assets, including any assets acquired during the marriage, regardless of title or source of funds. She won't read that closely, Nancy said. Nobody reads postnups closely when they think they're protecting a fortune. She'll skim for her name, skim for the dollar signs, and sign. And if she does read it, then you tell her it's boilerplate. Standard language every lawyer includes to cover any possible complication. It's not a lie. It's just not the whole truth. Daniel almost laughed. You're better at this than I expected. I'm exactly as good as I need to be for a client who deserves this outcome, Nancy said. Get her to sign it this week before anything happens that could make her suspicious. Momentum is everything here. Daniel brought it up Friday night, casual, over wine. I talked to a lawyer about protecting the money, he said. Draw something up. Pretty standard stuff. Basically just says what's ours is ours, no outside claims. Protects us both if anything ever happens. Perfect, Vanessa said, barely looking up from her phone, scrolling through 5 bedroom listings. Whatever you think is best. I trust you. You trust me, Daniel thought. That's almost funny. I just want you to be comfortable with it, he pushed gently. You should read through it before you sign anything. Babe, I don't need to read 40 pages of legal stuff. I know you're not trying to screw me over. We're a team now. She smiled at him, warm and easy. Where do I sign? The signing happened the following Tuesday in Priya's office with a notary present. Vanessa arrived 15 minutes late, apologizing, gushing about a new dress she wanted to buy for their vow renewal. Nancy slid the document across the table. Vanessa flipped through it fast. Page 1, page 2, skimming, landing briefly on the dollar figures listed for property division, nodding along, satisfied. She reached Section 4, and Daniel watched her eyes move over it. For one heartbeat, he thought she might actually stop and read. She didn't. This is all pretty standard, right? She asked, glancing at Priya. Very standard, Nancy said smoothly. Protective language mostly. Covers a range of scenarios, so you're both fully secure. Great! Vanessa uncapped the pen. Let's do this. She signed her name on the final page with a flourish, then turned to Daniel, beaming. There. Now it's official. We're really in this together. She kissed him right there in the lawyer's office, and Daniel kissed her back. Because it was, in its own twisted way, the last genuine goodbye kiss their marriage would ever have. The week after signing, Vanessa was a different woman entirely. She blocked Richard's number. Daniel confirmed it through Baxter's ongoing monitoring. She told her book club loudly that she and Daniel were stronger than they'd ever been. She posted a photo of the two of them on Instagram, captioned, "Grateful for my person." 12 years and just getting started. 12 years of marriage. And this was the first time Daniel had seen her fight this hard to keep it. Only because she thought there was a fortune attached to staying. He didn't feel guilty. He'd tried honesty first, in 100 small ways over the years. Late nights, worry, effort. She'd chosen someone else. Now she was choosing money. It only proved what Nancy had said from day one. This had never really been about him. Thursday night, Vanessa curled into his side on the couch, scrolling through wedding vow renewal venues, more relaxed and happy than Daniel had seen her in over a year. I keep thinking, she murmured, about how close we came to losing this. Before the ticket, I mean. I feel like we drifted so far apart, and now everything just feels right again. Daniel looked down at her, and for one strange second, felt something almost like pity. She has no idea how right she is about drifting. Vanessa, he said quietly, I need to talk to you about something tomorrow morning. About the ticket. She looked up, still smiling, still soft. What about it? Tomorrow, he said. Let's talk tomorrow. I want you to rest for it. Something flickered across her face. The first real flicker of unease Daniel had seen from her in 2 weeks. Daniel, you're scaring me a little. What's going on? He kissed her forehead, the same gesture he'd used a dozen times to hide what he was really thinking. Nothing to be scared of, he said. Just some things I need to show you. tomorrow. He felt her tense against him for the rest of the night, some instinct in her finally waking up. 3 weeks and one signed post-up too late. Vanessa barely slept. Daniel heard her tossing beside him most of the night, checking her phone twice, sitting up once just to stare at the ceiling. By morning, she was already at the kitchen table when he came down, coffee untouched in front of her. "Okay," she said, voice tight. "Talk to me. What is it?" Daniel sat across from her, set 2 things on the table side by side, the fake winning ticket and a real one, freshly bought. Same numbers he'd typed into the mock-up, matched against Wednesday's actual drawing. Loser, every digit off. Vanessa stared at them both for a long moment before it clicked. "What is this?" "The ticket was never real, Vanessa. I built the confirmation myself. Photoshopped it. There was never $4 million. There was never any lottery win at all." The color drained from her face. That's not possible. I saw it. I saw the confirmation. You saw what I wanted you to see." She shot up from the table. "Why would you do that? Why would you lie about something like that? Daniel, that's insane. Were you testing me?" "Yes." The word landed flat, simple, absolute. Vanessa's mouth opened, then closed. "Sit down," Daniel said. "There's more." He opened Baxter's file and slid it across the table, photo by photo, the 4 seasons, Richard's hand at her back, the Cartier necklace, the texts. Vanessa's face went through disbelief, then horror, then something close to physical illness as she saw her own words printed back at her. "Once the timing's right, I'm done with him. I just need to get through the holidays without it looking bad." "Where did you—" she whispered. "I found the burner phone in your car 6 weeks ago. I've known since before Dallas, since before I ever told you I had a business trip. There was no conference, Vanessa. I sat outside our house and watched you get into his car." "Daniel," her voice cracked. "Daniel, please, just let me explain. It wasn't what it looked like. It was ending. I told you. I told Richard it was over." "You told Richard it was over after you thought we'd won $4 million. Not before. That's the part that matters." Vanessa's hands were shaking now, reaching for him across the table. He pulled back. "None of that matters," she said desperately. "We signed the post-nup. We're building something real now. Whatever happened before doesn't have to define—" "It's not about defining anything," Daniel said quietly. "It's about what you signed." He pulled the post-nuptial agreement from his bag and turned to Section 4, subsection C, sliding it toward her, watching her eyes scan the words she'd skimmed past 3 weeks ago. "Marital misconduct, including but not limited to infidelity, forfeits any claim to marital assets." Vanessa read it twice, 3 times. Her face went white. "No," she whispered. No, this isn't. Nancy told me this was standard. This was boilerplate. It was standard misconduct language. You just happened to commit the misconduct before you signed it. You planned this." Her voice rose, cracking between fury and panic. "The ticket, the post-nup, all of it. You planned this whole thing to trap me." "I gave you a chance to be honest," Daniel said, and for the first time, real anger slipped into his voice. "Every single day for 6 weeks. I gave you a chance to tell me the truth. You didn't. You lied to my face, planned your exit around the holidays like I was a line item in your budget, and the second you thought there was money involved, you chose to stay. Not because you loved me, but because you didn't want to leave millions on the table." Vanessa had no answer for that. She just sat there, shaking. "I already filed," Daniel said quietly. "This morning, before you woke up. Fault-based divorce. Infidelity as grounds. Full documentation attached. Priya's filing the post-nup enforcement alongside it." "Daniel." "You'll be served by the end of day." Vanessa's hands fumbled for her phone the second Daniel left the kitchen. She scrolled to Richard's contact, unblocked it with shaking fingers, and called. It rang and rang. Voicemail. She tried again. Voicemail. A text sent in desperation. "Richard, I need to talk to you. Please call me. It's important." Delivered. Read. No response. She sat alone at the kitchen table, the fake ticket and the real evidence spread out in front of her like the wreckage of a plan that had, somehow, without her ever seeing it coming, been dismantled piece by piece from the very beginning. For the first time in 6 weeks, Vanessa Cole understood exactly how thoroughly she'd been outplayed, and exactly how alone she now was. The divorce moved fast. Nancy made sure of it. With the post-nup, the infidelity documentation, and Vanessa's own text messages laid out in exhibit form, there wasn't much left to fight over. Vanessa's lawyer, a last-minute hire, nowhere near Priya's caliber, tried to argue the post-nup was signed under emotional duress following the lottery announcement. The judge wasn't moved. There was no law against a husband keeping his winnings private for a few weeks, real or not, and nothing in the agreement suggested coercion. Vanessa had signed voluntarily, with independent notarization, with time to read it. 6 weeks after Daniel showed her the 2 tickets side by side, the divorce was finalized. Vanessa walked away with her clothes, her car, the one already titled in her name, and nothing else. No house, no claim to Daniel's business, which had grown considerably in the past 2 years. No settlement, no $4 million, because there never had been any. Richard never returned her calls. It took Vanessa 3 more weeks to find out why, and she found out the way most people find out things now, through Instagram. He'd moved on. A woman named Christine, 29, an event planner, photos of the 2 of them at a gala Vanessa recognized. She'd been to that same venue with Richard herself, 8 months earlier, back when she thought she was the exception to his pattern. She wasn't. She'd never been anything but the most recent name on a long list. Vanessa tried, briefly, to control the narrative. She told her book club that Daniel had tricked her, manipulated her, set a trap like some kind of villain. It might have worked too. Vanessa had always been better at optics than substance, except Monica had spent 6 weeks watching her brother suffer in silence, and she wasn't about to let Vanessa rewrite the story into something sympathetic. Monica didn't scream. She didn't post anything dramatic. She simply, calmly, told the truth to the 3 friends in the group who mattered most, with dates and details Vanessa couldn't argue against. The sympathy Vanessa was counting on evaporated within a week. Daniel didn't celebrate. He wasn't built that way. But 6 months later, sitting in his growing business's new office, signing off on a partnership deal Vanessa never knew was in the works, he felt something settle in his chest that had been missing for over a year. Peace. Not triumph, just peace. He thought about her sometimes, mostly without anger now. Just a quiet, distant understanding that some people show you exactly who they are, and the only real mistake is refusing to believe them the first time. Vanessa, meanwhile, sat in a small 1-bedroom apartment on the other side of town, an eviction notice on the counter. A temporary setback, she told herself, a rough patch before she landed on her feet again. She still had the framed photo from her Instagram post, the one captioned, "Grateful for my person, 12 years and just getting started." She never took it down. She just stopped looking at it. 12 years, and in the end, all it had taken to end it was a piece of paper that was never real, and a signature she never should have rushed to give.